Hey, so today we're going through the first in the series of nutritional videos. This is how to eat, and this might sound really strange to do a video on how to actually eat, but I'm going to just introduce you to some principles today that you may not have already thought of, and just explain why it's something that you should really be looking at putting into your nutritional regime. Now, nutrition itself, I have stayed away from doing nutrition videos, specific nutrition videos for a while, because realistically, a nutrition video is going to take 20 to 40 hours to really cover everything that nutrition entails. So it's so broad, and so many people try to attack it and just don't really, I don't think, fulfill the brief. So they will all come out. It's just going to take some time to actually hit one, main point at a time. Today, though, is how to eat. So hopefully this will be a quick one. And I'm just going to demonstrate a couple of things for you, and we'll see if I can talk and do things at the same time. So the first thing is in the food prep. Now, hopefully we don't have to go right back to the stage where I tell you don't want to use a microwave and you don't want to do this and that. So we're just going to keep this really brief. Everything here is certified organic. It's all from local farmers, and there's a lot of care and love put into producing this food. So what I've got here, obviously this isn't a complete meal, but just to keep things brief, I'm going to show you how I go about making some food. So the carrot. Now, what you'll notice is a lot of times when people are making food, it's just cut this, chop that, throw that, and there's no real care taken with the food. And I know some people still regard this as kind of hippie stuff, but what you put into the food goes back into you. And this at one time, or still is, remember, it's a living thing. So there's a certain energetic value to this that you want to take care of it. It's not just an appliance you can throw around and it doesn't matter. It's a living thing, and it's going to help to nourish your body. So the more, I hate to use a word, some people don't quite get it, but the more love you can put into actually handling the food while you're making the food, the better it's going to be for you. And the further somebody is stuck into the matrix, the less this is going to make any sense, and the less they'll probably actually feel or notice any difference. But again, just remember that when people have gone beyond that and they're looking from the outside in, you can really feel the difference between a food that has been lovingly created and a food that's just been knocked together with no real awareness while it's happening. So it's fine to have music and things playing. Do what you want, but generally, as long as you're still quite present with the way that you're actually preparing the food, that's going to be a whole lot better for you. Now, I'm going to grate the carrot because it's raw and it's actually a lot more digestible to have it while it's grated. And what I'm doing while this is happening is I'm already being, grateful for the food. And a lot of people, obviously, in the world don't have food. So I'm grateful for the food, I'm grateful for the quality of the food, I'm grateful to the farmers that really put in the time and effort to grow it. In this day and age, I can just concentrate on being a holistic health practitioner. And I don't have to worry so much about tending the land. I have my own plants outside, which I've got some here, some herbs to add to it. But I'm just going to demonstrate a couple of little quick things that you can incorporate into your daily eating. So, done the carrot. Here I've got two types of sauerkraut which I've made. I'll probably actually end up doing a video on how to make it. This one's more beetroot based with some garlic and onion. And I'll place that in. Again, the whole time I'm really not being turned on, that's the way to put it, but really just noticing the colours and letting them, the vibrancy of the colours kind of come out and hit me. And when you're starting to eat more intuitively, there are certain things, like certain colours will really resonate with you at a certain time. So that's a different type of sauerkraut. It's more cabbage, carrot based, completely different colour. And some things will, your body will want it more than others, and there's certain colours that will go along with that. So there's some sauerkraut done, some lemon. I'm going to squeeze that on the top. And then this next bit is one of the more important bits of preparing food. So again, rather than just chuck it, this is still useful. Everything, I just like to take care of all this because, although vegans think that it's fine to eat plants and not animals, a plant's a living thing, and I don't like to mistreat a plant, so I don't like chucking things around and whatever. Now this is something I learned from my friend Bubbles. Despite the name, she is not a pet monkey. She's a person. And what she'll often do when she's making me food is she'll cut out things like smiley faces or hearts or whatever. And you might think that that's just stupid, but it's really, you'd be surprised at how presenting some food can make things a lot more palatable and a lot more enjoyable, and you'll get more nutrition out of the food because of how it was presented. So I'm just going to, and this only takes an extra 10 seconds to do, it's not a waste of time. I mean, at one stage I would have been the first person to say, why bother doing that? Why bother make your bed in the morning? You're only going to get back into it at night. So you can do whatever you like. I just like to spend another 10 seconds or so just making some creations in there. Got some herbs from the garden, some parsley and some mint. And it's going to make it look nice to me. You can even use, whatever you like. You can decorate it however you like. But a little bit of decoration goes a long, long way, and it really helps to enhance the... See, my mouth's already starting to water. A lot of the reasons for doing this is to improve the digestion of the food, and putting this love and care and creativity into the food, and having something that just looks to you. It's already secreting gastric and salivary juices, so that when this comes in, I'm going to extract the maximum amount of nutrients and energy from the food that's there for me, as opposed to having just, treated this like a process that I have to go through in order to get some food in. So we're going to go watch me eat the food now, and you'll see how I treat the food before I eat. So we're at the table. I actually kind of rarely eat at a table. I'd normally be sitting outside to do this because I like to sit around some plants and the grass and some nature while I eat. It's a bit windy outside and shoot a video though, so we're sitting here. It's not bad. I will sometimes sit here because as long as I can see the sky or stars or whatever out of the window, I find I'm okay. But you'll notice that I'm not distracted by a television set, or I'm not reading, I'm not engaging in anything that's drawing my energy and my focus away from what I'm doing, which is eating. Eating, it's such a big part of our lives. We rely so heavily on food, and it's a very culturally ingrained thing to do. Is there's a lot associated with eating. So for you to go and distract yourself with a computer, some reading material, a television, or whatever, it's really taken away from a long history of what food is designed to do for us. So getting into eating the food, I'm not just going to sit here and eat a whole bowl of food in front of you. I'm just going to show you how I approach eating a meal. And the first thing I do is, I'll either let it sit in front of me or I'll hold it close to me, but I'm just really grateful for the food. And what I'll generally do is just eyes closed, and I'll just sit with the food for a moment. Again, I don't care how busy you are, you can take 10 seconds just to be still before you eat. If you're still rushing around and you're still stressed from making the food, or you've just got home, you picked up the kids, or you've got a big day of work ahead of you, or whatever, if you sit and your sympathetic nervous system is activated, and it's not going to help you digest the food at all. So what you want to do is just take a moment of stillness, just to relax, be thankful for the food, allow your body to switch into a state where it's going to assimilate, digest, and really use the food. And just be thankful, obviously, for having the food. Now, you don't have to pray, you don't have to be like a whatever. I remember when I was at the high school formal many years ago, and we went to a religious school, and they wanted us to say grace, and I was really drunk and everything, and I still am into The Simpsons, but there's a part in there where Bart, the kid, they want him to say grace, so he says it, and he says, "Dear God, we paid for all this stuff ourselves, so thanks for nothing." And that's really funny in the way that it's anti-religious. But from a point of view of being thankful for the food, that's what I am today. Not in a religious sense, just in a gratitude sense. So when you eat the food, take your time with it, chew it well. I mean, it's an old adage, as you want. So make sure you take your time with your food, chew it well, enjoy the food, really enjoy it. Really notice the different flavours and everything that comes out of the food, and you'll find that the way you do nutrition will improve based simply on the way that you eat the food. And I'll leave you with a quick example. There's a lot of people out there that try to really push raw foods, a lot of people that try to push a lot of different things. Again, like I always say, people always try to come up with a niche or a way to segment themselves in a marketplace so that they have a way to market themselves. So most of the time it's just bullshit. It's just, you don't want to buy into that sort of stuff. Food is food, right? You don't want to have to label. If you label yourself as a raw foodist, I'm a vegan, I'm a lacto vegetarian, something or other, like, why don't you just eat? It's just, if you have to label yourself as something, there's something wrong with your nutrition straight up. So what's my point? The point is that if I put some cooked food, for example, in front of a raw foodist, and say it's a bone broth, and it's so mineral dense, and it's so bioavailable, and it's so good for them, if they're looking at it and eating it thinking how bad it is for them, their mind's just messing with what they're doing, they're going to turn that food into a bad food for them because they're releasing stress hormones, they're putting, their toxic thoughts are going to produce toxins in the body. So relax with your food, eat it well, enjoy it, and I think you'll find that your nutrition, I mean, we're going to get into nutrition and what's good and what's bad, blah, 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 but just from this, have this as a starting point, and then your nutrition from this as a starting point is going to be a whole lot better. So that's enough rambling for today. Check you later. See you in the next one.